All right, let's get to lesson 70, Radio 223 part-timers. We are delving into a new section, which is production, branding, and imaging, part one of three. That's chapter 6.6, imaging and audio production, page 235 to 238 in the next level radio textbook by Nash and Cullinan. Let's get into this. We're going to be looking at your approach when creating imaging. So imaging being jingles, IDs, feature jingles. We have a varied, I'd say, amount of labeling for what is considered imaging, what goes on imaging, station imaging, production in terms of promos, etc., and how we can obviously create one voice for the station that we're working for. And we'll look at again some practical examples as well in some of the links or the link that is provided at the end of the lesson. What is imaging? It's the produced content that we hear on radio between songs and adverts, and before or after we speak, like in our links, right? So to keep a link nice and tight, it's always good to include a station image or a show image, ID, a station ID or show ID or a DJ ID, a sting again, whether it be wet or cold, some of the terminology that you're going to get familiar with. A wet ID has production elements to it. So you'll hear the little sounds and effects that go around. Let's say like this is Metro FM or this is BMH Radio, with the obviously tagline that accompanies that. A car. In accordance to defining what a dry ID is, that's without any effects. So just a clean, cold vox or voiceover talent that provides that particular vox, where we just play a nice clean, like I say, a sting with again no production elements around it, just using maybe some equalizer, some normalizing, some cleaning effects, and maybe whatever basic effects you want to use when you are doing sound engineering, right? What functions do imaging or does imaging perform? Well, it tells the listener what show or radio station you are listening to. Yes, you are tuned into that frequency, but think of how odd it would be if we didn't have any imaging that identifies the station or the show. Right. So it is part of the branding, the total brand package. It creates breaks in speech to attract attention or emphasis to something. So, for example, playing, let's say we are back announcing a song, might want to play a quick ID or sting before we get into a content piece or get into a let's say pre-recorded piece to make it nice and clean, again playing at the top and tail, to again just emphasize the segmentation within a show as well. It relays specific messaging by creating a sense of excitement. So really great imaging creates a nice atmosphere within a show. Imaging is purposefully played to help listeners recall the name of the radio station, get the kind of like subliminal messaging on or through. It's getting them a little bit, making them a little bit brainwashed, should I say. Having memorable imaging helps diary respondents for listenership figures to remember what radio station that they're listening to. Sometimes when we do the focus groups, people don't actually know who the DJ is. They don't maybe want to know sometimes, maybe they do want to know. And so the imaging will help with that. They don't really know what feature is currently being executed, or when maybe we're trying to kind of analyze the like a certain promotion, see maybe the success of it. The imaging perhaps it wasn't maybe created correctly or effectively, might not have landed the correct feel or again the correct attention from that listener themselves. Imaging should always communicate something that the presenter is not going to say. So it's a bit odd to, let's say, come back from a song, play an image of the station, an ID of the station, and then directly afterwards say the name of the station again. That's a bit silly. So we don't want that repetitive nature. We want the imaging to do the job for us. Um, Again, to introduce, let's say, a segment like a feature, or have a nice, very entertaining, something that's adequate or appropriate for that particular feature. And then we would maybe describe what the feature is about, to again kind of avoid that repetition of elements. Imaging should never repeat something that the presenter has said already, right? So it's there to enhance, emphasize, provide more details, reiterate, remind the audience of something. Again, playing it in certain parts of your link is effective, but obviously think it through so that it doesn't confuse the listener at the end of the day. You're very familiar with it. I know that you do listen to radio, so you know exactly how to identify those ID stings and feature jingles or ID or DJ jingle station radio show jingles, excuse me. Successful imaging should be well produced, please consistent in its programming and functionally used. So that's why when you listen to a station, we have a voice of the station. It might be female or male or both, right? And that particular voiceover artist will be the voice of the station. You'll hear them ID across even shows and DJ IDs, and it will create again one voice, right? It's very a kind of not disturbing. I mean, it well, I don't know. It confuses the listener. Maybe that's a more appropriate word. When we hear, for example, a uh, let's say a DJ use their own voice inappropriately. So I'm saying, so for example, a DJ, like let's say me doing a jingle for another show makes no sense, right? In my own show, it might make sense for a feature, right? That I want to. It's a short-lived feature. I want to maybe do let's say a show jingle which has the voices of myself and my team would be all right, but also mix that up with again the station voice so that we know there's a bit of synchronicity across what we're playing on the show, right? But it does sound a bit silly to be like, this is whatever the midday blues with Chris Jordan, and I am going on directly afterwards playing that link that doesn't that ID. Okay, imaging should make a station listenable and enjoyable. So again, just to make it a little bit more magical and cleaner, more entertaining. That's why we want to brand the station with again very professionally made IDs, etc. Station imaging should create a strong brand signature, create a comfort zone for listeners so they know where they are, they know what to expect, they know exactly what the station is all about. They'll hear that the way that we construct imaging is very much in line with the format of the station, right? We don't want to get like some like a say indicative voice for an AC station. Makes no sense, right? Um, so it all goes in line. It is in line with the brand itself and what we want to accomplish with that, right? What message we're sending in terms of our vision, mission statement, etc. Okay, complement effective programming and messaging, and many stations also add calls to action to their imaging. So phone us right now, send us a text on, follow us at that type of call to action. Remember, what is a call to action? It's basically allows this, we are indicating to a listener, go and do something, right? We are calling them to an action that they must go subscribe, go download, go follow. Again, so creative program managers, producers, and presenters will use imaging as a way to continue telling stories, right? A little bit more effectively. Again, adding a little bit of pizzazz to the segments that we want to tell a great story to, right? Or we continue to be great storytellers in. Before we look at the different types of show imaging, let's look at different show promotions that imaging will lend a hand to. So show promotions will be functional stories that are used as a tool. For example, type one is coming up or a teaser promotion. So we want to obviously drive like some kind of appointment that we set with the listener. We tell them like coming up at whatever it is, what time, or we can just say coming up stay tuned for, right? So we set a bit of a, like I say, we schedule a bit of an appointment with them, and that obviously is a great way to use, IDs and again imaging within a promotional way. Brand building and generic movie trailers for the show, etc. When we are doing a certain feature, we want to be able to, like I say, just reinforce, reinstill that cohesiveness of the brand and the feature, for example. And in the show promotion, it can be used, or in show promotions, should I say, we then can use imaging that is catered directly for a certain competition or a activation that we are doing. So listen to Chris today, and you can win yourself $5,000 courtesy of takealot.com. Right. Okay, let's have a look at the some snippets from your textbook, right? So let's look at type one promotion coming up, or tease promotions. So the three that we just had a look at briefly, let's look at them a little bit more in depth. So the description of the first one, promotion that throws forward to a future moment in the show, an entire show, outside broadcast, creates an appointment for the listener. For example, this weekend, Awen Wolf, right, is in studio from 7:40 on Sunday with John. So this needs to contain a strong hook and a definitive reason to tune in. Remember what a hook is? A hook is a very short, very captivating statement that we make to entice a listener to continue listening at a certain point of them, tune into the radio station itself. So how do we use it for best practice? We're going to provide an exact time for when you want the listener to tune in. The promotion might ask a favor from the listeners to change their engagement patterns and tune in specifically for this moment. So I want to give them a reason to do so. Um, like I said to you before, it might be pushing them to go and subscribe to something, again, to go share something, or again to tune in at a certain specific time, and I don't know, share a comment on, again, social media. It should create anticipation and excitement. So the expiry date expires straight after the event has happened on air. Okay. And the optimum time on air, it should be 3 to 5 days on air before the event on medium or high rotation, right? So we want to be able to make sure that it is scheduled across certain shows so that different listeners can become aware of it as well. And the level of importance is very important because we'd like them to tune in for this once off, quote unquote, event that might be happening on the station itself. Okay, so I'm just going to zoom in just a little bit so we can see the two that are left here. Just a little bit here. All right, so type 2 is the brand building or generic one that we did mention before. The promotion advertises the show generically and it builds the brand, but also creates a fear of missing out, so FOMO. So we want to be able to, tell them about what, like, a feature that is happening, and in case, let's say, they missed it, what went down on the show, a little bit of a donut promo, why it was amazing, kind of format. So the promotion answers the question, so why should the listener continue to listen to the show or listen to the show firsthand? So again, the donut promo is kind of taking the best moments of a show with a top and tail of the show ID, saying what you missed out or the whatever it is, the breakfast with, and then it'll be a donut promo, like a 30-second to 45-second, audio piece from the show. Edited and obviously in a way that is entertaining, shows the best elements of the show, that type of thing. What emotion is being evoked? Well, when again, like, oh man, I missed out on that interview. It sounds so good, or I missed out on that team having so much fun, or this person making a really profound statement. And so I think I might be tuning in tomorrow, so that I can, entice a little bit of my curiosity and suffice it or satisfy it, should I say. So we're going to use snippets from the show to promote the show to the audience, promote the show to the audience. Never just talk about the show. Instead, use the actual show and elements from the show to, say, case in point, here is the show. Here's why it's great. All right. And give it time. So every day, 6 to 9, every day, 12 to 3, every day, whatever it may be. Okay. That particular donut promo, for example, should expire after 3 days. Ideally, should be updated daily, right? Especially for our flagship shows, right? But for other shows, let's say the brunches and the lunches, if we're going to create that, maybe the 7 to 10s or the weekend shows, the specialty shows, something that is done in like not in high rotation, it's just here and there. So across the day, it's perhaps maybe once during a particular show. We're going to refresh this obviously promo to make sure that we are advertising the show, and its elements continuously. 72 hours is the expiry date for it. It's less important compared to the upcoming promotion, right? Okay, then the third one is, oops, excuse me, and that's further down. Uh, okay. So is the in-show promotion, so used as imaging. So color the show with older content and rehash old content to entertain and engage. So, like, we might use an element of, again, one of our features is always good. To use, and that's for our own show. Again, using other people's as cross promotion, but ideally maybe a little bit of our own to further identify or familiarize the listener with what we are about on the show, right? So be short, punchy, sharp, impactful, and use very sparingly because it makes you look tired, right? If you're going to keep playing a moment, like for example, let's say you told a funny joke or you were witty or whatever it is, and there was a funny, like it was a good moment, right? But it can get really like it'll make you look desperate after using it far too many times, right? So it's used its imaging and retrospectives sparingly and not important as a promotion, but rather more important as just imaging. So just a bit of a filler there. Okay. All right. So we're nearly done. Let me just make sure that you can see that there. Every drive time show should have at least one type of coming up promotion per week, right? So this means every show that should have something to advertise should be inviting to the listeners to go and convince them to tune in at least once a week, this generic promotion type 3 or the generic promotion type 3 should be used very sparingly. As mentioned before, it's often not effective and can create unnecessary clutter on the show. And they are very useful on music shows where long mixes or songs can leave a listener unsure of the show. It's kind of like place it in between, the music sweeps is effective. They can create a sense of branding and ownership for the station. All right. So for homework, right, you need to answer activity 6 on page 245. So activity 6, number 1, I'm just going to quickly open up the textbook here. 45. Excuse me, just give me a second. Right there. Okay. So activity 6, it says there as follows. Number 1 says discuss the difference in terms of the level of importance between the three types of show promotions as discussed right here in the lesson. Explain why you think one is more important than another. So basically just regurgitate what you learned in the lesson, but put in your own words. When you are putting things in your own words, you get a better grasp for the reality of what you are trying to process as information. Right, explain what a radio jingle is and then give 3 reasons for why it is used in radio production. Okay, so match the following terms in column A with column B. So the one is the donut promo, right? B is a liner. C is your bed. D is a pathos, right? Pathos, right? And E is imaging. So just to go through the options on column A. And column A, 1 shows content that is heard between songs, adverts, and speaking sequences, right? So which one of those, a donut liner, a bed, or pathos, or imaging? The musical composition between or behind the voice over in imaging, commercials, or talk links. So I'm going to give you that one. That one is bed. That was bed music, right? So 3, beginning and end of a piece of audio imaging, and that would be like I've described to you in the lesson. 4, imaging that contains the name of the station or the show. So that would be, let's say, a liner. And a quality, and 5 is quality, a quality that stirs emotions, and that is your pathos, as I described, that atmosphere, that feel for your station. Yeah. All right. So I'm just going to quickly, if I click on this link here, so I'm going to open up here. I'm going to start the share, and then just wait for that to open up and share something new. Here we go. And here we are for the link that has been included. So you can go and have a look. Custom imaging for AC, adult contemporary radio, right? Classic hip hop, classic hits, country, etc., etc. So let's go with, for example, something that we're familiar with. Let's go CHR. I want to make sure that you are actually able to listen to this. Give me a second here. I'll do that again. Share the screen, but I need to share the sound. There we go. Okay. All right. So let's listen to some imaging for
A94.5. Q. Take that. 94. Come on. Q101. 101.9 The Mix. Chicago's Mix. Star 104. Sounds like this.
And I don't wanna be somebody without your body close to me.
And this. This is a new one.
Only the best new music.
Like this. I want you to be happier.
Always sounds good. I'm the district in the jam.
Shreveport Bossier's #1 hit music channel.
Always fresh.
You gotta be fresh.
Yeah, so you get that on those two, actually, the male and the female lead vocalist or voiceover artists are very popular around the world. A lot of stations, including our own stations, have used them before. So that's contemporary hit radio. Let's look at the difference between that and look at the feel for AC radio.
WJBR.
Warm 103.3.
Today's soft rock 94.1. Cafe 104.1.
99.9.
Today's Light FM.
More FM. With long sets of more music.
What about all the times you said you had the answer?
More variety for a better workday.
Don't stop believing.
Here comes another one right now.
Songs you already know by heart. And the ones you're still trying to figure out. 8, 11, 2, and 5 does equal 4,000. 4 times a day, you could win the $1,000 workday payday on today's Soft Rock.
Adding even more 80s to the Magic Mix. The
Okay. So as you can see, AC adult contemporary, definitely like a Jacaranda feel there. Again, the delivery, it's not that the delivery is necessarily very different, but it is about the way that the imaging is constructed. As you saw, songs that are very AC format. I want to go to something that's very so let's go to its polar opposite. Let's go to, I think I saw hip hop here. Not particularly, let's not classic. Let's go rock. Let's see if it's a little bit different.
This is the new area. Higher, go higher. 102.9, the rock you love. The rock you deserve. And more of it.
Give me more.
Spread the word. If it rocks, then it's on the new Area 102.9. Facebook Live, where stupid people go to post their latest crime.
Why is everyone so fucking stupid?
By that, you can see that a little bit more edgy, definitely allowing, like, for example, like edited or censored swearing in there, because again, that kind of rock feel is very grungy and very, again, progressive, quote unquote. Not to say that one station is better than another, one format is better than another, but again, even the guy's delivery in that's very, again, it's kind of like, again, kind of a lot of attitude, and so it fits that kind of format. So let's do one more. Let's do like I would like to see what the hip hop is like.
It's time to make New Orleans even hotter. Let's take it to the streets and neighborhoods of the 504.
We the best!
Pay attention.
Yeah! We taking over!
Yeah. It's the new Hot 1037. Playing only hip hop and R&B throwbacks.
Way back. I'm a bad boy.
The new Hot 1037. 100% throwback.
Ain't nothing like the old school.
Start.
Check it out. Come get some.
Now.
Check this out.
The new Yo 105.1 Classic Jam. KKRG. Santa Fe Albuquerque.
What all the homies saying.
All your favorite throwbacks live here.
Let's go.
The new Yo 105.1. Yo. Classic Jams.
Really good imaging as well. All of them are very well produced as well. So you can see definitely the sound bites are what push and what they just elevate the quality of the production, but also really help you identify what type of station we are listening to. Definitely, obviously having that urban feel in there, and it really just it's really well done, very nicely put together. Okay, I believe that we should actually try and do like an extra session, or maybe where I can take you through producing some imaging when we are done with this particular section. Okay, this after we are done with the third lesson, the 3 out of 3 one here, I'll do a little bit of a small session, show you how to create some imaging as well. All right, I'm going to stop the share there, and I'm going to stop the recording. I'll see you in the next